And we are off. Apparently Madison's timer is a bit out of sync, or at least you can still see it, although it is a bit off-center. That's fine, really. First off, we have container ride, and part of this mod, which I love, is it skips basically 4.5 minutes. You see, both of these runners finished in under 20 seconds, where usually this entire map would take about 5 minutes and 40 seconds. Second map is, of course, easy. It's heavily movement-based, and there's nothing really all too special about it. It's just do the taper, but fast. And if you're hearing that, that is the church bells going on my side, and that is my fault. The reason I'm just talking nonsense is there's nothing really much to do until you get the portal gun, which Madison appears to be getting, though it did start about 5 or 10 seconds earlier. Madison missing that shot. If you get that first shot, it does just save walking up those stairs, so that is about 5 seconds total. Not much, but definitely worth going for. Apart from that, a pretty smooth run from both of them.
Is very dangerous. To help you remain tranquil in the face of almost certain death, smooth jazz
was off.
redeploy.
There's no audio. That is my fault again. I apologize for that.
You have trapped yourself. Congratulations. The exit door is now open. Mind you, that although circumstances may appear bleak,
there we go. Getting some minor issues out of the way. I'm just switching to Madison's audio for now because he did start earlier. So I'm just using his. He is one chamber ahead. And the trick you're seeing now, Madison do 2 times very nice. That is called a portal stand. That is a lot easier to do in Portal 1, although of course possible in Portal 2.
And the future starts with
it's where you stand like halfway through the portal, shoot the one you're standing in, and then very quickly move out. That does make this test a lot quicker. And what you just saw with the button is only really useful in this chamber, I do believe.
To ensure that sufficient power remains for core testing protocols,
so that you can.
The Enrichment Center respects your right to have questions or concerns about this policy.
Not quite used to this. There you see Tactic doing it very nice. I'm actually not bumping on the door. That is a reasonably precise shot. Saves a bit of time. Definitely worth going for. Both are now in secret panel, and the shot you're seeing both of them do is called pancake shots. That is possible without that door being open, although is very precise. Looking at Madison, he's now in wake up, and this usually has about a minute and a half cutscene at the very end of it, of the speedrun mod, so it is of course skipped. Actually, we're going to turn Madison up just a bit. Oops. Nope. His audio should be fine now.
Here we are, the incinerator room. Be careful not to trip over any parts of me that didn't get completely
Yes, and in the beginning of Incinerator, there's about 14 seconds or so of you just falling. And what you saw there is a double portal stand by Madison. That is reasonably difficult to do. It's the same technique as you just saw before. I can't remember the name of that map.
Sorry about the mess.
Tacky Tacks going for a speedrun mod only trick. You still have control when falling, so you can actually aim yourself while doing that. And Tacky Tacks missing both of the portal stands.
This next test involves
and what you just saw there for Tacky and Madison as well a few seconds ago is there's a giant hitbox just above those panels which you need to wait for. That's probably the easiest trick in the entire game, not including bunny hopping itself.
Don't let that horrible person thing discourage you. It's just a data point. If it makes you feel any better, Science has now validated your birth.
What you're seeing on Madison's screen is a laser glitch. You're activating one laser, walking to the door, and then activating the second laser for one frame, or one tick technically. And in that one tick, both lasers are active and the door opens.
Faster than I can build them, so feel free to slow down.
I believe Madison is
Do
going to go
whatever
for
it is you
the
do when
Wet
you're
Maker.
not. I'll
Gets
give
it
you
first
credit.
try. What a
I guess
gamer!
you are listening
That
to
is
me.
a
But
reportal,
for
which
the record, you don't
you'll
have to
definitely see later. So I've got time to explain that. You get a ton of speed, and that is definitely the more advanced version of this trick. Throwing the cube and placing the portals
This
in
next
midair.
test involves the Aperture Science Aerial Faceplate. It was part of an initiative to
Now,
investigate
technically,
how well
if you're seeing Madison missing that cube, there is technically a dialogue skip you can do. That's only really useful in the base game, not in the mod.
You're not breathing real air.
Now, Madison
It's too expensive to
tried to go for, tried to get the cube on the
Let's see
first
what the next
go
test
through.
is.
That
Oh,
is
advanced aerial
definitely
faceplates.
possible. It is
Well,
quite
have
difficult,
fun
although you
soaring through the air
of course
without a care
lose
in
like
the world.
3 seconds
I have to
and
go to
then
the wing that was made entirely
get all the way
of
back.
glass and pick up 15 acres of broken glass by myself. I'm still cleaning out the test chambers, so sometimes there's still trash in them.
Madison
Standing
went for
around,
a
smelling,
slightly
being
slower
useless.
version of that
Try to
chamber
avoid the
at the beginning of the
garbage
chamber. It is
heading
possible
towards
to
you. Remember
airstrafe
before when I was talking about
and
smelling
land next to that button. Does definitely save a few seconds.
garbage
It
standing
appears that
around being
notification
used?
was from Madison himself. Not from this room.
Did you
Alright.
know that people with guilty consciences are more easily startled by loud noises?
And if you look at Madison, I believe he's going to go
I'm
for
sorry,
a
I don't know why that went off.
reportal that's
Anyway,
been
just
discovered
an
a
interesting
few
side
days ago
fact.
from now. And missing the definitely a really difficult airstrike. So I guess what a reportal is you are halfway through one portal,
Every test chamber
and then
is
you shoot
equipped
that
with
same
an
portal. If you just saw a few
emancipation
seconds
drill
ago,
at its
orange
exit,
was
so
on the
that
floor.
test subjects
So
cannot
when you're
smell.
about halfway through orange, and you shoot orange on the wall, and that gives you a ton of speed because Valve makes games. There's really no way to explain
This
it.
next test involves
That gives you a ton of speed.
Remember, I
Skip,
told you
and
about
the
them in
airstrike for
last
that is
test
definitely the most
area, but
difficult
did
part.
not have
The
one.
setup is relatively consistent. Well, to do fast takes a bit of time. The riders now seem to be a pretty equal pace. Madison did start his run a few seconds earlier, but apart from that, there's really nothing else to it. Tech Attacks on the left going for a much more difficult reportal strat. That is 4 consecutive reportals. And it's actually about the same speed as the version Madison did. If done first try, of course. Not to slack any of these runners, these are both better than me. I just happen to be the one talking.
Look at you, sailing through the air majestically.
I
like
just
an
completely
eagle,
forgot what
piloting
Madison
a
was doing.
blimp. Enjoy this next test. I'm going to go to the surface. It's a
So
beautiful day
reportals are
out.
definitely used
Yesterday I
a
saw it
lot
here.
on some
If
high-level
you
play.
solve this next test, maybe
And
I'll
even
let you
in-
ride an elevator
No, not
all
going
the
for
way
that.
up to the break room.
It's possible to do a
And I'll tell you
reportal
about
with
the time I saw
what
it
Madison
there
was doing,
again.
and that skips having to do the fling. So that's about 3 seconds or so. Oh, Madison with a very good save.
You passed the test.
So
I
what
didn't
that
see the deer
chamber does,
today.
you saw with Madison, where you're going to see Tech Attacks do right now, is have the cube stop the laser while in midair, and that lowers the panels
These
just
bridges
enough
are
so you can
made
get some
from
extra
natural
height off
light
of them.
that I
Then
pumped in from
airstrafe
the surface.
and land on
If
the
you
button.
rubbed your cheek on one, it would be like standing outside with the sun shining on your face.
Just gonna see if
It
Tech
would
Attack
also
can
set
get it,
your hair on
and
fire,
weirdly
so
misses
don't
that
actually
cube
do
throw.
it.
With another
Excellent.
free portal, you can see
You're
it
a
just gives you a
predator,
ton of
and
speed,
these
and is
tests are
very
your prey.
useful.
Spe-
That's catapult you're seeing.
Good
Like catapult
news.
just at the beginning
I figured out what
is
to do with all the money I saved
not the
recycling
fastest.
your one room full of air. When you die, I'm going to
There we
laminate
go.
your skeleton
Pretty
and
good.
pose you in the lobby. That way, future generations
You can see
learn
Madison
from you
again
how
do another
not to
reportal
have your
strat.
unfortunate bone
Forgot the exact
structure.
name for this, but this is a
Can
yes, a
learn from
reportal
you
to the
how
ceiling,
not to have your
to the
unfortunate
wall, to the
bone
floor, and then
structure.
grab the cube. not quite getting it. That is honestly really difficult.
Not to have your unfortunate bone structure.
You just need to do so much in so little
Well
time.
done.
And actually,
In
the
fact,
wall
you did
is
so well.
the
I'm
wall
going to
Tacky
note
Tack
this
just
on
bumped
your
on
file
last
in
death.
the commendations
Sorry,
section.
Madison. I can talk. That wall is actually
This
slightly
next
bumped
test
out to the
involves
left, so I need to
turrets.
actually
You
strafe
remember
to the
them,
right.
right?
There's
They're the
so
pale
much to do
spherical
in
things
like
that are full
3
of
seconds.
bullets. Oh wait, that's you in 5 seconds.
Madison is at turrets for the
luck.
first time. This is a relatively simple chamber. Tacky Tack's having some fun. But turrets are a relatively simple chamber, so this one and the next one are not really all that difficult.
To maintain a constant testing
Tack
cycle,
is
I
at
simulate
where is it?
daylight
Bridge
at all hours
entry.
and
That's
add
it.
adrenal vapor to your oxygen supply.
Once again, a
So you may
relatively
be confused
simple,
about the passage of time. The point
chamber
is, yesterday
when
was your
you're at this
birthday.
level. There is one trick coming up in 3
That
seconds
jumpsuit you're
now.
wearing looks stupid.
You did see it earlier in the run, but I
That's
didn't
not me
talk about it.
talking.
That is
It's right here
pushing
in
a
your
cube
file.
through glass.
On other people it looks fine. But
You
right
definitely
here,
saw it
a
earlier in the
scientist
run,
has noted
and
that on you
Madison
it
did
looks
do it.
stupid. Well, what does a neck-bearded old engineer know about
That is used in
fashion?
like 2
He
places throughout the
probably-
run. You saw it in
Oh,
Smooth
I'm
Jazz as
going
well.
through
That's
the list of test
the
subjects
run
in
I was trying to
cryogenic
think of.
storage. I have a surprise waiting for you after this
Where's
next test.
Madison?
Telling you
again
would
at the
spoil
turrets.
surprise. So I'll just give you a hint.
Now, one thing,
It involves
again, about
some
this
two
mod
people
specifically
that
is you
you've
see the
seen in a
speeds the
long
turrets
time.
get blown up at. Usually in the base game they would be on fire, say that they're on fire, then explode. That's about 2 or 3 seconds per turret, but in this mod they're pretty much instant. No, Tacky Tack's failing the bridge over goo again due to that wall being bumped out. That is definitely really annoying,
It
quite
says
difficult to
this
get
next
used to.
test was designed by one of Aperture's Nobel Prize
And
winners.
Tacky Tack
It
is
doesn't
just
say
doing
what the prize was
the
for.
intended strategy.
Well, I know it wasn't for
More or
being
less.
immune to
Intended
neurotoxin.
fast. Madison on Pull the Rug.
I bet you think I forgot
easy
about
one,
your
of course.
surprise. I didn't. In
Nice
fact,
read,
we're
like it.
headed to your surprise.
A short
right
chamber.
I made it
Where's
all
it?
up.
Yes, now
Surprise.
Madison.
Oh, come on. If it makes you feel any better, they abandoned you at birth.
Okay.
So
What
I
you saw
very
on
seriously doubt that even
what
one
you
to
saw
see
on
you.
Madison's stream on the right is there was no sort of chapter headings. That is something this mod did remove. For some reason, Crazy has decided to do that. Tacky, actually with a very smooth turret intro.
Well,
No
you know
real
the old
mistakes.
formula. Comedy equals tragedy plus time. And you have been asleep for a while. So I guess it's actually pretty funny when you do the math.
Maiden on doing the more difficult strat where he's lining up the laser cubes as technically doing them in the wrong order. What you're supposed to do is this cube is first and then do the cube he did first.
I thought
Line
about
up
our dilemma,
line it
and I came
up
up with a solution.
those
that I
lasers is
honestly
actually really consistent. You just do it like you would normally. And then one airstrafe is pretty
Federal
easy.
regulations require me to warn you that this next test chamber is
Tacky with a strat I have
good.
genuinely never seen.
That's right.
That is not
The
how I would personally
facility
do
is
that.
completely operational again.
And here we have triple lasers, and this is the trick I was talking about
I've got a
during dual
surprise for
lasers,
you after this
where
next
you
test.
shake the cube vigorously, and that
fake,
activates
tragic
all
surprise
3
like
laser
last
receivers
time.
for exactly
A
1 frame.
real surprise with
So
tragic
therefore, for 1
consequences.
frame, the
And
chamber's solved, and you can go through the door.
surprise with tragic consequences.
Madison on escape,
And
no
what's going
jailbreak,
on?
excuse me, and missing a trick. Yes, what Madison just did was, I guess it's more used in the base game. In the mod, it's actually skipped. There's about a 10-second-ish dialogue between Whitley and GLaDOS, and that trick would skip it entirely. And jumping over the railings, but then missing that. Jumping over the railings is pretty easy to do and just keeps your speed for bunny hopping into the exit, like here. he is on Escape, which is straightforward map. And I think what both of these runners are going to do is do a trick called Long Shot with Creative. This is mod only, and Madison not going for it. However, it is a speedrun mod only trick where the door you're seeing up ahead now is open already. So it is possible to shoot a portal from where that turret was before, all the way into here.
Well done. Okay,
It's possible, but didn't go for it. And again, another trick that is skipped in the mod, I guess, is about another 10 seconds of weekly talking, which you need to do some air strafes and some weird portal placements, or something like that, to actually skip the trigger and get over an invisible wall. In the mod, you can just do the intended strategies and not really bother with all of that.
Nobody knows what is an interesting story. You might like this.
And attempting to jump up the rail that's missing.
Guess who the
That rail jump doesn't save any time, it's just easier.
ended up giving me the worst possible job.
And you can now see on Taki's screen that he is doing the cubes in the, I guess, intended order, or at least the other way from how Madison did it. And that, again, mid-air portal placement is relatively tight, so we need to get it first try, really. And now we have Madison on Neurotoxin Sabotage, I think. No, wait, this is Turret Factory, I don't know the maps. Another very quick reportal just to get some speed into the bunny hopping sequence. Not really necessary, but it just saves a bit of time. Definitely useful at such high level play. And here you can just see Madison can just barely place a portal over the glass and skipping about 10 seconds or so. You have to wait for the turrets to not shoot you.
Control center. Thank you very much. See that scanner right there?
One more thing
It's
about this
deciding
mod
which
is you
trap
saw
can do it.
Madison picking up a turret
brilliant.
immediately,
Brilliant.
and
This
that's
door's
because the
excellent.
randomness of
Perfect.
having some troubles there. That's because the randomness of the
Was there any
turrets
sort of announcement
either being
before
normal or
opening, like
defective is
a
completely
buzzer or
removed.
an alarm of some kind,
So-
or like a
so you
hacker
will always
alert?
get a defective turret.
Fair enough. The important thing is it's open, but just bring your daughter to work.
And Taki
did not end
not
well.
bumping on the floor. That is
And
very
14 potato batteries.
very
Embarrassing.
good movement from
I mean, I
him.
realise they're children,
I
but
can't
still,
talk.
low-hanging fruit and all that. Barely science, really, is it? I'm pretty sure we're going the right way. Just to reassure. Don't worry, I'm absolutely guaranteeing
Right.
you 100%.
I'm just watching Taki.
All right, now she can't use a turret.
We're also doing the same as Madison. Seems to be a bit smoother in this endgame, not missing those few shots. I wonder if Taki is going to do the long shot I just mentioned.
This is the neurotoxin generator. Bit bigger than I expected.
Isn't.
Not going to be able to just.
There's definitely a few runners who do that. It saves, having to bunny up all the way through it, even though that is pretty fast.
Feel pain of a sort. It's all simulated,
And again, one thing that this mod does is the panels with the lasers on them in Neurotoxin are much closer together and also move much faster. You can see that it's just constantly there, as opposed to in the game where it's like every fourth one or so. And also this ending is much shorter. You saw Madison shooting through some walls that you can do in the base game as well, to save a bit of time. That shot isn't actually that precise, it's fairly lenient, especially when the panels are moving.
Stalemate resolved.
And also skipping the small container ride sequence in core transfer. And the cutscenes before and after. So now Madison is going into chapter 6. Usually there'll be about 2 minutes long map of GLaDOS talking to you. Of course, that is skipped, and similar to an incinerator, you get control as soon as the map loads, so you can take the speed from your falling and move it into the bunny hopping. Apart from that, this chamber, or this level I should say, is basically the same as in the regular game. And Madison getting it. You can, of course, looking at Madison's screen, you can shoot a portal from the a long way, I should say, you just saw. That, again, skips, I would say, about 10 to 15 seconds of just body hopping, which is really boring. And that door is already open, so I don't need to press use on it, which is really confusing if you want to do CM maps of this. And here, you can, like, just as in Euroduck and Sabotage, you can shoot through terrain. That skips the lift and another reportal. That is actually not. That is a reportal and scripted momentum, because that slanted surface portal is on just gives you all that speed immediately. So that is a failsafe. If you just fall, that's just a failsafe that's output in. That is doable in the base game as well.
Last poor son of a gun got blue paint.
On to Repulsion intro.
All joking aside, that did happen. Broke every bone in his legs.
There are 3 skips, I think. And just like in the map you saw before, which I can't remember the name of for some reason, you activate the button for a very short amount of time. Not too sure about it myself. Sorry. Then that door stays open. And you can just shoot above the emancipation drill.
In layman's terms, that's a billion little gizmos.
Not going for that. Not going for a cube clip, which is weirdly difficult, I guess. But you can use a cube to clip or through the floor, and then go straight to that second button you see on the left. So you would be right here with that cube clip. Airstrafing to get the cube there is slightly faster than bouncing on the walls. Of course, it's quite difficult. You have to airstrafe as long as you physically can. It is not that easy. And actually, first, several runners also do another version of the button glitch on that second button as well, so don't need to get the cube.
All these science spheres are made of asbestos, by the way. Keeps out the rats. Let us
Tacky
know if you
on
feel a
core
shortness
transfer.
of breath, a persistent dry cough, or your heart stopping.
And getting that skip, that is where you sort of do that is where you bunny hop into the portal on the ground, which I believe was blue, and also crouch while in midair. That makes you just high enough so that you can get over that panel. That is a bit easier. Madison did try it, but failed, if you remember.
Now, if you're part of control group
Tacky
Kepler
also went
7,
underground.
we implanted a tiny microchip about the size of a
Madison now
postcard
in
into your
Crazy
skull.
Box.
Most likely you never got it
Definitely
to even there.
one of the
But if it
more
starts
annoying,
vibrating and
one of
beeping
the more
during this
annoying
next
chambers
test,
if you
let us
don't know the speedrun route of this.
Degrees, so we're gonna need to go ahead and get that out of you pretty fast. If you're hearing this, it means you're taking a long time on the catwalk between tests.
Some very nice portal placements. One thing about Portal 2 is you can actually, when holding crouch, the game automatically slows you down when near a ledge, so you don't fall off. So you actively need to try to fall off if you're holding crouch. And with a double fling, I mean,
Congratulations.
reading a pretty good time on Crazy Box. Grabbing the cube from below technically is enough to break all the glass around you, or else you have to put gel on it and have it bounce around. It's quite annoying. And here you see the blue portal being fired from the other side of the glass. There are things in the game called portal helpers, which means you don't need to aim your portal exactly. If you're in a rough area, then your portal will get shot through there. Some of them are just big enough to go through glass. Again, Valve is very good at making games. Tacky getting the reportal boosts, whatever it's called, first try. I believe he's about the same as Madison.
Yes, sir, Mr. Johnson.
And again, you see on Madison's screen a reasonably precise shot, although it is quite a good line of it. And another reportal right there to burst all the way to the end. It is quite tight because you're bunny hopping and getting a reportal. he's getting the rebuild consistently. It's just the air strafing he's having a bit of trouble with, but third time's the charm.
If you're interested in an additional
Having some fun there with his mouse.
flag down a test associate
And
let
you
him
can
know.
see Tacky going for the cube clip I just described earlier. If you get a first try, it does save about 40 seconds. And that's pretty good. You did get the cube clip, but not quite as high as you would have wanted. And Tacky not going for the second button glitch.
Thank you. I can't
So that's
believe
basically
I'm
what the
thanking these people.
that's basically what
For
the
staggering your way
cube
through
clip
Aperture
is.
Science's
You would like to
propulsion
end
gel testing.
where you are
You've
now
made
and
some
skip
real
that second cube.
contributions to society for a change, and for that, humanity is grateful. If you had any
And
belongings,
I
please
wonder
take
if
them
Madison,
now. We don't
if
want
these two
old
runners are going to do
newspapers and
the
Welcome to
lemon
the
skip.
Enrichment Center.
That is a skip that's found a few weeks ago.
Since making
and
test
Madison not
participation
going for it.
mandatory for all employees,
You can do
the quality of
another
our test
rebuild,
subjects has risen dramatically.
like what was
Employee
done in
retention,
Hitflix
however,
quite early in the game, to skip the
you may have heard
conversion
we're gonna
sequence,
phase
which
out
is
human
this
testing.
elevator and
Still a few things
then
left to
one more
wrap up,
rebuild.
though. The beam counters told me we literally could not
That is
afford
called
to
lemon
buy
skip because
$7
you
worth
skip
of moon
the
rock
dialogue
slots,
of Cave
less
Johnson
70
talking about
million.
lemons
Bought
and
'em
stuff.
anyway. Round 'em up,
You know,
fixed 'em into
best
a
part of the
gel.
game in my opinion.
I've been thinking. When life gives you lemons, don't make lemonade. Make life
There,
take the lemon
getting it
back.
first try, you need to place
I want
the
your damn
gel
lemon
yourself,
back.
obviously,
What you
and
doing
then
here?
do one reportal,
Fantasy life manager.
and
Make
you're
life
up,
rule the
and you're
day.
skipping that. Can't tell.
Wisconsin lemon.
Anyway, if you do lemon skip, you would get to that catwalk with one single reportal, at least with a super reportal, which is similar but different. So that would skip. So that lemon skip would skip that entire section. So I believe about 40 seconds. It is definitely worth it. Tacky with a very good save for the for Grace Box and doing the same strategies, I believe. What you're going to see now on Madison's screen is called a stuck launch. It is this pipe and this wall are at the perfect angle to get stuck in. Then you wait for a bit because you are technically falling and you are building up speed constantly. So you can fall for a few seconds and then drop onto bouncing gel and then bounce all the way up to here. Saves like 2 minutes. It is definitely, you need to do this for any run really. And the chub bounce you're seeing on Madison's screen is because the tube in front of him contains blue gel. So therefore the tube as well is bouncy. I told you Valve is a valve. And Madison is entering chapter 7, the bit with
For
Wheatley.
God's sake, your boxes with legs. It's literally your only purpose. Walking
There is
onto
a
How can
there
you
is a
not do the
cube throw you can
warmer?
do
Warmer,
at this
boiling
chamber,
hot, okay,
which
colder,
in
colder,
the
ice cold, your arms
regular
are
game
you're very cold.
skips the
Very,
dialogue
very cold.
that
Look,
Wheatley
just
would
get on the
usually
button.
say, like Wheatley and GLaDOS talking together. Shell obviously not contributing anything. And in the base game you would save about 40 seconds, and in
I have
this
to test
mod it
all the
saves
time, or I get this
1.5.
this itch.
So you don't really
it
need
must
to
be
do it anyway.
hardwired into the system.
The door just opens immediately and
Well,
there's
I'll
no
tell you,
big
when I
spiel.
do design this test myself. Oh,
See what
yeah.
Tacky is doing. There is
Really good. Oh,
Yes.
here's an idea. Since making
Tacky.
tests is so
Madison probably did this as well while watching.
Nothing.
Getting it first try, that is pretty good.
Okay, new tests.
What Tacky did there is
new
a
tests. Got
gel
a new
bounce.
test,
Not
right?
entirely sure about the trick name. However, you can similar to a reportal where you enter halfway through.
It's all right.
You can then
Everything's good. I just invented
scroll,
some more
which is
tests.
scroll wheel is bound to jump.
Not entirely.
and
not
then you
entirely.
get a load of
Look at
speed.
the word test there on the
Don't ask
wall.
why.
That's brand new.
You just do that. Skips that entire chamber. That solves that entire chamber in about 20 seconds. And what you're going to see now from Madison and Tacky as well, now is called CFG, which is short for Crouch Fly Glitch. It is very useful in this end part of the run. It basically means you're flying. That's it. You can fly the same technique as for the same. Yes, you can fly just like you would in a funnel. The only downside is you cannot change your own height. So you need to use walls or ceilings to control your height. So you won't see them. So you won't see either of these runners bunny hopping when doing that. And Tacky having some troubles with this button,
Well
which is
done.
relatively tight because you're quite far away from the button
Well, no,
itself.
you pressed the Ah!
And because you can't control your height, you need to use the cube itself to push you down. And then Tacky has his keyboard keys up, but Madison doesn't.
Don't start yet. Don't start yet.
Instead of bunny
You are
hopping,
not
you
gonna
would
believe
just
this. I
mash
have
A and
sealed
D
off
while
with
holding W.
hundreds of perfectly good test chambers just sitting there.
That
Filled with
is
skeletons,
slower than bunny
sugar,
hopping,
good
but
as new.
kind of the only way of moving, really. And again, Crash Fly Glitch makes these next chambers just a joke because you can fly over gaps. And Madison going for a cube throw, getting it. That is basically the same as the laser glitch I was talking about in
So that
Triple
last
Lasers,
test was
where the
seriously
button is
disappointing.
activated
Apparently,
for a
being
single
simple,
frame and you are holding
Find
up against
out.
the door.
If I'm such a moron, why can't you solve a simple test?
And Madison has now lost Crash Fly Glitch. Because the only real way to lose Crash Fly Glitch is entering another funnel. So now you can see him bunny hopping. And this is Great Shots, where you can just barely shoot a portal on that grate.
That was nothing.
It's reasonably precise, but it's actually fairly easy to do if you can do it. Yeah, it's fairly easy to do, but not the
Don't
most
mind me,
difficult
just
thing in
moving
the
the old
world.
test chamber a little bit closer to me. I'd have thought maybe proximity to the test
That's
solving
now on.
might give us stronger results.
Catch the cube catch.
What was that?
Getting the cube mid-air, you do need. That is. Getting the cube mid-air is obviously not the intended way of doing it, but definitely a whole lot faster than doing it.
Oh, sorry, could have sworn you
Bouncing
said-
from the
Are
bridge.
you absolutely sure you're solving
And
this correctly?
appears to have some trouble
yes,
with
you
the
solved it, but I'm wondering
cube on
if
the button itself.
maybe there's a number of ways to solve them, and you're picking all the
With
worst.
one finalized wave solves it. Because turrets do actually take a few seconds to actually notice you before they shoot, so that is reasonably lenient, although you do need to turn around fairly
and
quickly.
then watch
Can't really
10
wait them.
at once. Get a more sort of concentrated burst of science. Oh, on a related note, I am going to need you to solve these.
And what
10
you're seeing
times as fast.
Madison doing right
Anyway,
now
just give me
is
a wave,
again
would you,
getting
before you solve
Crash
this
Fly
one, alright? I don't want
Glitch
to spoil the ending
and
for when I
then
watch it later.
preserving it into the next chamber. You can see he used the angle panel to go up and then this chub to go down. That saves Crash Fly to the next chamber, which makes that a whole lot easier. The routes are similar with and without Crash Fly. It's just faster with Crash Fly.
Programmed in one
And
last
you're going to see
tremor.
another portal stand. However, you can save yourself with Crash Fly.
Sorry about the
And
lift.
that
It's
is the
outsourced
reason
because it-
you have Crash
might as
Fly
well
for this
give you the tour.
map.
To your left, you'll see some lights.
That is
of
a
some
that is a
kind.
really
Don't know
good
what they
trick.
do.
You have to place you
very
put the
sciencey anyway.
cube on the edge of the portal so that it angles a bit
you all right
instead of
back
actually
there?
having it on the panel. And then losing Crash Fly glitch again because you entered a funnel.
Yeah, just getting a test.
Tacky
ready.
now in chapter 7.
Obviously, who else
Sorry,
will be doing it?
first
No one?
test of chapter 7. And Madison going for I wouldn't say difficult trick, but it's not the easiest in the world. What Madison is going to do is bunny hop and wall strafe together, do a fling, and then place a portal on the floor, then fling himself from that orange portal. And the real difficulty is just getting the distance required from this wall strafe bunny hop combo. Because what you need to do as well is turn your camera 180 degrees and then air strafe. That's something you need to get used to at first. But getting it like third try, so it's pretty good, honestly.
Only 3 more chambers to your big surprise.
And let's see if Tacky can get the... No, Tacky's just using the funnel itself.
Oh, that's tiring.
And yeah, Tacky actually keeping Crash Fly into the next few chambers. Yeah, Madison getting Crash Fly glitch and then
bet
losing
you're
it
both
immediately.
Dying to
Because
know what
in this
your
mod
big
you don't
surprise
really
is.
need
Well,
it, although
only 2
I'm
more
saying that and I'm not the best runner. there is a funnel on Madison's screen which is a whole lot faster in the mod than in the base game. Usually this funnel would be the same speed as any other funnel, being not very fast. But it is like 4 times as fast in the mod.
No, seriously, do come back, please. Come back, please.
And also another trick with these gels, you can fire 2 portals in mid-air. And if Madison was just a tiny bit earlier, you could have flung straight into the
and I would say something like, come
straight
back,
into the
can't help
exits.
but notice that you're not coming back,
That is
which is disappointing. Oh, I've got an idea.
and Taki pretty good with the pretty good with the great shots. And it is actually possible to do a huge throw onto that button.
Ha! Death trap.
But it's only really used.
Something great
That's
back
only
there.
really used for like top level runners.
Oh! Ha! Was that your bullet? Riddle bullet flying
Now
out the
on
roof?
Madison's screen,
Oh,
due to the
there's
mod,
crack turrets, weren't they?
this part is slowed down a whole, is sped up a whole bunch. All the
Because
slowdowns are
And guess
removed,
what? They're
obviously.
all
And
Never
I believe
play
this
cards, easy
is
to learn. Anyway, new turret, not defective.
exactly easy to do.
Ace of fours, the best hand.
getting crouch fly again.
I would imagine.
That's how he does it. There is also a way to do that same trick that Madison did, but using a turret to push yourself down. Which is a bit easier, but also a bit slower because you have to use a turret. And then the reason it got crouch fly is really just for this trick, where you can skip all of those turrets and then keep crouch fly for the next few chambers.
Crashing's too good for him. First, he'll spend a year in the incinerator.
Where's Taki at right now? He should be in... Oh, right, Taki is doing the same. I believe.
Okay, I'll take that as a no then.
Madison now in final 3, and similar as in the first map of this chapter, the funnel has been sped up dramatically because again it will be the same speed as any other funnel. You see how fast this goes, and losing crouch fly for the final time, heading into final 4, which still hasn't been skipped yet, oddly. Final 4, pretty standard. Final 4 is pretty much the same as in the regular game, it's just sped up slightly. There's a dialogue with Wheatley beforehand, of course is skipped, and these cycles have been sped up, and there's no real mod on these tricks here. You can see Wheatley fired bombs immediately, instead of talking for like 7 years. Now, I wonder if either of these runners will go for early moonshots. Because at the final button, at the final core, you can, like in Neurotoxin, just shoot through the geometry of the level, and then hit the moon just slightly early. In total saving, well in the base game saves about 10 seconds, not sure about the mod.
Core corruption at 75%.
Just jumping slightly too early for that second core, up to you again, no big problem. One final bomb, and that should be Madison. Let's look at Taki getting that shot. I was about to say in the first go, but just goes slightly too far to the right.
Warning. Core corruption at 100%.
And
You have been a thorn in my
Taki
side.
somehow missing that
Stalemate
portal
resolution
jump.
associate. Please press the
Someone
stalemate
missing that
resolution
flick,
button.
and what you're seeing Madison do right now is just spamming the floor, and that keeps the portal on, I guess, unportable surface. There, Madison going for the moonshot, but missing. That is reasonably precise, and that saves this entire thing of grabbing the bullshot. So, about 8 seconds or so. Definitely sped up in the mod. With a final time of, if you can see that, 33:49. Taki Tax now, where is he? Oh, they're both loading, I guess. Where's Taki right about now? And then you can see the credits. Taki now on final 1, so he should...
No, don't do that. here. Stand. Hello. Where'd you go? Come back. No, seriously, do come back. Please, come back, please.
There
Okay,
you go.
look, I've decided
Backing
I'm
out
not
on
going to
final
kill you.
one,
Okay?
and actually getting the fling I was just talking about
Just thinking
earlier.
back to the old times, the old days when we were friends.
That
Good old
place
friends.
plus portals in
Look,
midair
can't
and
help
then
but
get that
notice
shot
that you're not
is
coming back. Which is
not as difficult as
I've
you
got an
may
idea.
imagine.
Yeah.
And very smooth movement.
Ha! Death trap. Did something break back there?
Probably going to do the same as
Oh! Ha! Was that your
Madison
bullet?
at
Riddled
the-
bullet flying out
for
of the
the,
room? It
next
was.
few chambers.
Those were the crap turrets, weren't they?
So if you missed that, then watch it again.
Well, no matter, because I'm still holding all the cards. And guess what? They're all full houses. Never actually played cards, meaning to learn.
And
Anyway,
no,
new
Tank
turrets,
Attacks is
not defecting.
not going
Ace
for
of
the
fours,
same
the best
one.
hand.
Or the same.
Unbeatable, I would imagine.
Yeah, he's not first moving the turrets out of the way. That is definitely faster, but you do have the risk of getting shot, you know. Let's see if he does the same tactic as... Yep, that's the same one. There's another way to do it, would be with these stairs you see where you enter the room and then fly across over the gap. But you do have the risk of getting shot by the turrets. Because these turrets are a lot faster aiming than the ones in the regular game.
Still spent a year in the incinerator.
Than the ones in everywhere else.
Cryogenic refrigeration wing. Then 10 years in the chamber I built where all the robots
And this should be final three, the same
Okay, I'll take that as a no then.
And this should be the same as Madison before. Finally showed up. And again, final four at the 34-minute mark, so I'm gonna guess he's gonna finish with a time of about 36, like a high 36 or so.
Look, even if you think we're still enemies, we're enemies with a common interest. Revenge. You like revenge, right? Everybody likes revenge. Well, let's go get it.
I don't believe there were any major mistakes with Maiden's run. But, well, he missed one jump at the second floor.
Warning. Core corruption at 50%.
What happened?
Okay, great. Here comes another core.
Quick, what's the situation?
And something I didn't get to explain on
Warning.
Maiden's
Core
run
corruption at
is...
75%.
Didn't get it. Was keep the bombs from the first round to immediately shoot weakly in this second
The automobile
phase.
brake was not invented until 18...
It is a bit faster,
Warning. Core corruption at 100%.
and it's only used for that second phase of this third one.
My side, long enough.
Stalemate resolution associated.
Maiden
Please
was very
press the
smooth.
stalemate resolution button.
Do the same, just spam the ground and you will get it. There's nothing really you need to do. Will he get moonshot? Gets moonshot, so you can see now how that works. It looks basically the same. Just stopped the timer earlier. With a final time of 36 dead. Let's get them set up for... Ah. And yeah, it appears that Taki is, I guess the word I'm looking for is not doing the other two runs, so Maiden has the win. I'll get Tacky in voice chat so we can talk about the run. Maiden is not joining us. Hello, hello.
Hello.
How did it go?
Well, it was a lot closer than I thought it was going to be, to be honest, after all the mistakes I made. So, yeah, it went well, but I didn't really
Maiden
feel like playing
finished
a
with a 34, I do believe.
Oh, okay.
No, Maiden finished with a
With a-
35-59, and you finished with a
Yeah.
36 dead. So 20 seconds between you.
Yeah, it was pretty close.
That's
Um,
honestly really good.
the start of my run was actually really good. I got a 344 chapter 1, which is the best chapter 1 I've ever had, I think, and then it just kind of went downhill from there.
No, that's bad.
Yeah.
I did see that in the early game you were definitely better than Maiden, and Maiden's late game was just a lot more consistent.
Okay.
Like a
I
lot
feel
of
like
a lot of things he got first try that you did on like third or second.
I had to give up on Bridge the Gap and do the other route, and then just
Yeah, I know.
all of chapter 3 and 4 was pretty disastrous. Like somehow on Triple Laser, I completely started shooting the portals in the wrong order, and I've never done that before. So yeah. So yeah, I guess I'm out. But yeah, I didn't really feel like playing another match, so I don't mind.
Well, one's enough. You definitely got to see two runners who are way better than me. So that's something. You did do quite a few tricks. Yeah, I actually went in pit flings. You did the, I guess, regular route when Maiden went for the super report.
Yeah, I've always been doing the triple reportal because I'm fine with doing the super reportals, but I find it really hard to strafe to the end. So I never make it onto the platform at the end, so I don't ever really do it. But I usually mess up triple reportal as well anyway. I guess Madden's not joining. Oh yeah,
No,
he's
he
not.
said he had. Yeah, he said he wasn't going to join, but he definitely got a good run in. I'm just
Yep.
seeing what's on the other Speed Gamings. On Speed Gaming 2, we have a Star Wars Races tournament live right now. Speed Gaming 3, that is us, actually. I believe there's 4 in total. And there is nothing on Speed Gaming 4. On Speed Gaming 2, there is a Star Wars race going on right now. And on 1, I believe it is just a charity stream. Well, just a charity stream. It is a marathon for benefits. Currently playing Resident Evil 7, if you want to check that out. Has just begun. If there's anything else you want to say before
Nope.
we
I
leave?
think that's it. That's it.
Thank you very much for watching, and do check out both Maiden and Tacky's Twitch to see some actual good portal runs. I guess that's us. See you later.